Rositania.
Our country is a democratic country. Our country is very similar to Canada. We have the exact same charters of rights and freedoms, welfare system, national security, and taxes depending on income. However, Rositania has no human rights. Countries without human rights, such as Saudi Arabia, North Korea, and Cuba, tend to have many conflicts. Also, their citizens are poorly treated, and these countries will soon fall apart. Rositania Recap. In this year, we learn more about government, human, and law nature. During the Hex auction, we learn more about human nature, how humans will do anything and everything to get what they want. An example would be the apartment hexes. Our election was like any other democratic country. We had a Prime Minister, Ben, opposition leader, Suzanne, and our government was a minority. However, there was a coalition formed between the Freedom Party and United Left Party. Hex auction hidden agenda failure. Neither of my two goals were met, and the only thing that was nationalized was security. This was a disaster for the liberals in our class.
Winter, the House of Commons.
In the House of Commons, we learn more about government nature and how coalition governments can pass anything they want, even if it's not in the favor of the public. Also, leaders will not always fulfill the promises they made during their campaign. The first two bills were terrible, as Mo had all judicial power and most of the human rights were removed from the citizens of Rositania. The truth had prevailed. It had seemed that the campaign that People's Party of Rositania launched during the election had become the reality of Rositania. Just like any other country in the world, for example Syria, there had been conflicts, and this led to a crisis vote, a vote for a new leader of Rositania.
Spring, the open market.
Education, health, and food were all overpriced. These were our basic necessities, and they knew they could benefit from it if they overpriced it. Thus, they did.
Summer, the town hall.
During the town hall, there were many concerns that were brought up. First, the corruption crisis, where Mo had received $5,000 from the government, the revolution, and talks about how to abort it by reaching an agreement. And third, preferential treatment, how Hex owners sold basic necessities depending on the relationship with the owner. Mo's corruption crisis was never resolved. He had received $5,000 from the government but received no punishment for his crime. In real life, former Prime Minister of South Korea, Park Geun-hye, received 24 years in prison. And in Saudi Arabia, he would receive a life sentence or a public execution. Mo received neither. Now let's talk about the Supreme Court. Oops, wrong Supreme Court.
Fall, the National Court.
Philip, the leader of the revolution, had committed treason. He was fined for only $5,000. For connecting this to real life, in America you would receive a life sentence, and in Saudi Arabia you would be executed. The revolution ends. We learn about society's nature and the government's nature. The society will stop once it's given what it wants, and governments will do anything to stay in power, even if it means to kill their own citizens, or appease them by giving them what they want. The return of the human rights. Rositania was once again a fully democratic nation and had ended the revolution. A reflection on my hidden agenda. My hidden agenda had become successful. The government had officially nationalized security, health, and education hexes. Also, the government owned 33% of the hexes in Rositania. Woohoo! The end, and thank you for watching.